Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
If you have holiday packages to send or even a stack of cards to send, which I know you likely do, don't put it off. Don't wait.
Well,
I'm
today
saying
is
this
like
from
the
experience.
12th, right? I mean,
I'm saying
or the
this.
11th.
Today's the 11th. From experience, and from the last couple of days. So one of the things I've been working on in the afternoons this week is some Christmas gifts that we are sending out to people we work with in our industry. And we send cards, and we also send some packages, some gifts. And, if you feel like you've got next week, I wouldn't sit on it. Here's why. A couple of stories, but the number one reason I wouldn't sit on it is if you're planning to use postal, just the U.S. Postal Service. I heard more than once yesterday. And so what I'm saying is yesterday I took some packages to a mailing center, not a post office, but a mailing center. And I was in line for a little bit, and I plopped the packages up there, and I gave them the info, and it was a very good experience. And then she said, "Are you wanting to send this postal service, or do you want to do a FedEx?" And I said, "Well, let's talk about my options." And she said, "Just so you know, there are a lot of complaints right now about what's going on at the post office this season. Like a lot of stuff is backed up.
Oh.
So just so you know, if you were going to send this through, regular mail, no, this is what it cost, and I can't guarantee things." And so price comparing it, it wasn't that much more to send it with a different carrier, but with guarantees of it's shipped here and this is when it's supposed to arrive. That's one thing. The other reason not to wait is because I think the longer that you wait, if you push it into next week, you're going to be standing in lines. There were already lines just to ship a few packages. And it was serious because when you first get, you can't be impatient with the people that you're behind. Because when I got up to the desk to send I sent 6 packages. It took me a while because we confirm addresses and they're typing it in and they're printing out the labels and I'm making sure this one, you're going to have the box for this. I had the box for several of them. And it's just a whole ordeal. It takes time. It could almost be a full-time job for someone to do this for you. It almost could.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to tell you, a little lesson learned. You guys know that we were sending a little package of some, how do I say?
Sweets?
Yes, sweets. That's a great. Perishables. Thank you, Murph. So we were sending a little box of some perishables to a few people. And the place where I bought these, it was a box. It was like a $30 box. And I said, "You guys can ship these, correct?" And then she gave me the fee for how much it cost for the company to ship it. It was a total of $60. So it was almost $30 just to ship it on top of the $30 that, it cost.
Wow.
And she said, "You might be able to bring this to a mailing center and do it yourself for much cheaper." And I was like, "You think?" No. I said, "Yes, I'm going to do that. Thank you." So I grabbed the boxes. I had to go, wrap them up, get the addresses ready, do all that. Then I went to the mailing center with those things. And once it was my turn and we agreed we were going to use, I think we used FedEx. We used FedEx for some of it and UPS for some of it. $27 to ship, $28 to ship, depending on where it was.
Lord.
So it ended up being double what I thought the gift, double what the gift cost just to ship it. And I've received packages. My brain started going wild. Like last year, our friend Lori sent me something at home, Murphy. I remember it was a few days before Christmas. I was sitting on the sofa, kicking back with a Christmas movie, and a package arrived from Lori, and it was heavy. And I remember thinking, I wonder how much it cost her to ship this. Now I really wonder how much it cost her to ship it. It was like this big, sweet tile that she sent me that you would put, not like a coaster, but shaped like a coaster. It was just a tile that had a message on it. And I thought, she probably spent more on shipping that than she did on the gift.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, the things you sent for $30 weren't that big and that heavy, right?
They were not heavy.
Yeah.
They were light. They were light perishables. But it was a $30 box of perishables.
Yeah.
And it was about $30 to ship each one.
Man.
So what type of shipping did you use?
Some of it was FedEx and some of it was UPS. It depended on how far. Again, she gave me the best possible service for a guaranteed delivery.
That's what I was at. So
And
which you did 2-day or you did ground? I mean,
I didn't
because
pick the days.
you
She
didn't do
just
overnight?
said, "Hey, this will arrive Friday. This looks like it's going to be arriving Saturday." And I was like, "Great."
Okay, sounds like you used standard shipping though, since you did it early in the week.
We did, but
Yeah.
if you wait, the reason I'm saying this, if you wait till next week and you need it there the weekend before Christmas, you're going to pay even more probably.
Yeah.
Well,
And
not probably. You will if
Yeah.
you do 2-day service or something like that. That's if you lay all of that out. And I'm a geek when it comes to that stuff because I've done so much of it. I've bought and sold on eBay and Reverb and all that kind of stuff. That if you do, the not rushing part is probably the most important thing. You will overpay because you don't know what your choices are. And before you ever go stand in line, you can actually do it. You can do it. Before you stand in line, you could actually go online and either see what the cost of your options are going to be, or you can even process the whole label right there. And if you were having somebody help you with multiples, they can import a spreadsheet into FedEx or UPS with name, address, and all that, so that you're not having to manually give that to the person, at the desk. Now, look,
so what you're saying is I should have given you this project.
no, I'm just saying that it's a, if individual
You learn
things,
more.
there's a whole lot of, most on an average day, the average person is going to use a UPS rarely. A lot of times it's returns that they're doing and not, others. So that's exactly why the box stores exist, so that you can go out there and get the personal assistance that you need, and they're great.
Yes.
But when you're doing multiples like that you can avoid the shell shock of the postage by just knowing what your options are ahead of time. And perishables are especially tricky too, because if you need to then ice pack something, you're really going to wind up, paying quite a bit for it.
It wasn't ice packed. However, I will say this is another shout out and good reason for these perishables that we took them to a sort of special mailing center. And that is, they know me there. They're wonderful, but they realized that they were sort of delicate. And they double wrap them for me.
Nice, that's good.
So they will arrive to our recipients in good.
Do they use bubble wrap or peanuts?
I don't neither. They
Oh.
wrapped it in something else because it was already in a box secured. They just didn't want it bouncing around and showing up crumbled. Does that
Gotcha.
make sense?
Yeah.
So I loved that sort of personal service about it. But
Yes.
when I tell you, I feel so silly to have gone to this, sweets place, bought these boxes of these perishables, these fantastic sweets, and chosen not to have them ship for me because I was going to save a little money by going down the street and shipping it myself, because I did not save any money.
Right.
The upside, though, to me is if I would have had the company ship it for me, Murphy, and you know how I feel about a personal handwritten note.
Yeah.
There would be no handwritten note. It would have been some sort of typed message that I would have typed, and they would have sent it in type.
Yeah.
And what we did put in was a handwritten note from Murphy, Sam, and Jodi in my handwriting, specific to the recipient.
Right.
And I believe in that almost more than anything else at Christmas time.
Yeah.
I love a handwritten note, sentiment,
There's
even if it's
nothing-
2 lines.
Yeah, nothing personalizes it more.
I know.
Yeah.
And the shipping it from the place where you bought the treats,
Sweets.
sweets treats. Did they tell you it would be there before Christmas, or you were just like, pay
I didn't
$30
even-
and you have no clue?
I didn't even ask how
Yeah.
quickly, although they do recommend these things be consumed, the sweets, within a week. And so
Yeah.
they would not have
Wouldn't-
shipped it if it was going to be more than
Gotcha.
that. They would have told me, no, we can't do it this time.
Yeah. Sometimes the business is going to have, because they do things in bulk, they'll have an arrangement with UPS or FedEx or the Postal Service, for shipping any of those things. The other part about waiting late is I'm assuming at some point even FedEx and UPS can't make certain guarantees that
It's
they'll tell you
true.
up front. So
Yeah.
the services that you're used to when everybody else on the planet is not shipping, is very different when everybody's, it's a mad rush to get it done. And look, that's the life everybody lives today. It's all
It's
one
true.
last minute. I even noticed the other day shopping on Amazon, and I'm sure in the fine print somewhere, if you're Prime, you're not guaranteed, the fast shipping on all things. There are some things that are Prime delivery right now on Amazon that are a week before they're delivered
Yeah.
right now. It's just
Know
because
that.
it's the season, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Know it. And I
Yeah.
always think about, I always think about those who work in the delivery business at this time of the year. Postal Service, talk about a load of work, with people who never send anything through the mail or sending stacks of Christmas cards. It's just a ton of work, and especially the online world we live in with the shipping and we're spoiled on it. You know, your person who delivers to you has a family too that wants to see them for Christmas and may not be seeing them a lot. You know, leave them out some snacks, leave them out some water, do whatever you can. And USPS, by the way, U.S. Postal Service dates what they say. What's so funny is don't miss the recommended holiday ship dates on the website. December 18th for first class mail, 18th for ground advantage, December 19th for priority mail. And if you really want to push it with the Postal Service, December 21st for priority mail express. And just like Murphy says, you can click and ship and find out everything you need to know online. But, and I don't say this, we don't do this podcast for you to feel in a rush, but it's just knowing knowledge is power. Know that if you can get it out this week instead of next, you can feel more sure that your recipients are going to get their gifts.
Especially if you're shipping and you're not walking into a FedEx or UPS store or the postal service on a regular basis, and you walk in and that's when you see the line, and then
you're like, oh,
is it always this crowded?
Right, yeah.
Don't push it.
If you go any later than that, you can turn it over to the big guy in the red suit, right?
Correct.
That is so true, Sam.
And he's magic.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.